to Graver Than Thou. I'm Andrew Thompson.
And I'm Darren Taggart.
That was very radio-y, wasn't it?
Yeah. Hi, listeners.
It's like,
thanks for tuning in. Tuning. Graver than thou.
what's the one on the Harry Enfield show where they keep playing
Smashing Nicely.
What's that?
Smashing Nicely.
That's the one, yeah. Darren. Effing celebrities.
Effing celebrities. I would not like to F a celebrity. I have more respect for myself than that.
Well, they don't have much respect for themselves or anyone else.
That's absolutely correct.
For one, Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan, if you don't know, is the African-American gentleman who is on 30 Rock.
Don't say African.
What's wrong with that?
Well, why point something like that out? I mean, you should do what we all do, which is to not mention the one thing that somebody. Tracy Morgan, the comedy.
The guy who often wears the pink shirt.
Trousers.
Lots of people wear pink shirts. You know, the guy with short hair.
Yeah. If you don't, to be honest, if you don't know who Tracy Morgan is, this isn't a very interesting story. Other than the general.
Well, anyway, so Tracy Morgan from 30 Rock, has been in some terrible American films as well, was doing a comedy show in Nashville, Tennessee recently, and went on this horrible, what's the word I'm looking for?
Homophobic,
I want to say anti-gay, anyway, homophobic rant, in which he made comments such as, gays need to stop being wimpy and stop whining about something as insignificant as being bullied. He also said gay is something that kids learn from media and programming. And also said, should his son ever turn out to be gay and come out to his father, he would take a knife and stab him to death. He ended the routine by saying, where is it? They should be able to take a joke. After all, they can take it in the bum.
Oh, that is sweet.
Lovely man. He's since apologised for the routine after Tina Fey told him off.
Yeah, and said she'd probably be sacked.
Yes.
Or something if he. But it wasn't just that if he apologised or not. It was if his apology isn't taken as sincere.
Okay.
Then he would be.
This story here is that the audience member who sort of publicised this rant, this guy called Kevin Rogers, he started a Facebook group called "Why I No Longer Like Tracy Morgan," a must read, in which he explained what happened at the show. He's since accepted the apology apparently, and I think he's removed the group. But I mean,
well, for one, I don't think you can, on behalf of any group of people, accept an apology as though he was the person that was wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's, in a logical defence of Tracy Jordan, he did not single out an individual. He didn't point at this guy and say...
No, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
This guy just chose to be offended.
It was a general rant, just as...
it doesn't say...
Mel Gibson does about the Jews now. It's just that.
Good
I mean, the idea that a stupid celebrity says something stupid isn't really. I mean, it's not going to change anything except even people who are sort of anti-gay won't thank him for this rant.
It's just that thing again. I mean, he's kind of got. I think when you're in the kind of public eye like that, it's a bit like the whole thing with Ryan Giggs. Yeah. You kind of have this responsibility to behave appropriately, don't you? And I know he's a comedian, and it's sometimes good to do some more risque humour. I mean, in his apology, he referred to himself as an equal opportunities comedian, which I assume means he can make fun of anyone he wants. Yeah. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's good it's bad to have sort of taboo subjects. I don't think you can just avoid anything on the basis that somebody might be offended by it, because a lot of comedy. Yeah,
I think if people are talking about it and they, fans, young fans are being told, well, unlike Tracy Morgan, I love you unconditionally, rather than conditionally on who you choose to go to bed with, which is apparently a crime punishable by death. So it's quite biblical. I'm sure the Bible people will like it.
I'm sure the Bible,
But at the end of it,
Rowan.
Yeah, Rowan. Yeah. But I mean, I don't think that it's anything
that
hasn't been said before, that anybody will follow. It's just, if you were labouring under the impression that the guy is, some social trendsetter or spokesperson, then this is a bit of an eye-opener. I'm glad that Tina Faye came out and criticised it.
Tina
because
Fey,
I
we should
would have
say, is the sort of creator and sort of main
executive
star
producer and writer.
what's the show
30
called?
Rock.
30 Rock, yeah.
Because I would have stopped watching it for that.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see what the first episode of the next series is going to be like, because it will criticise.
Are they quite topical, you know, but like South Park, are they really keep up to date with sort of...
Oh yeah, they're very good like that. But I mean, they'll do something to... because they're all a team of comedians and things, they'll do something to humiliate Tracy Morgan, which will be enjoyable to watch, I'm sure.
Have you seen the latest South Park, the one with...
Getting old?
Yeah, and he thinks everything's poo.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. How they're going to... I don't know what the next episode's going to be like, because it ended quite weirdly.
It was quite weird, yeah. Do you think this is them starting to wind down? I mean, South Park could go on forever, because it's topical, and they never grow up. It's like The Simpsons, kids are always the same age. There's no need to... But I mean... I do wonder if perhaps they're looking at...
They might be getting a bit bored of it. It's like anything. When you're rebelling against something, you need the thing that you're rebelling against to stay there. And there's all of the, when it becomes South Park only says mainstream thing. I don't know. I mean, I hope it stays...
I think they'll... Oh, what are they on now? Season 16 or something like that? Yeah. So they'll probably run up to at least 20. But, I can't... It's not an expensive show to make, is it?
Clearly not. No.
Some more celebrity gossip. Mr. Crowe, Russell Crowe, is sorry over his circumcision Twitter comments. Now, this is obviously Russell Crowe apologising for criticising the ritual of circumcision on Twitter. Crowe had previously stated that the procedure was barbaric and stupid, but later deleted his comments. He then went on to say, I love my Jewish friends. I love the apples and the honey and the funny little hats. But stop cutting off your babies. Whatever, yeah. He put this to Eli Roth, who's a Jewish film director, who came back saying, you didn't seem to be complaining when I was recutting you this afternoon. So, it was all quite good.
I know. It is. There's nothing funnier than mutilating the genitals of babies, is there? It's something all the family can enjoy, isn't it? And especially when it's done in order to please a mad Sky friend, isn't it? I was annoyed about him, Russell Crowe, because his first Twitter was absolutely correct. It is barbaric. Anybody that doesn't think it's barbaric needs their head examining. Anyone who justifies it on the basis that, well, even if this baby grew up to be
what is the purpose of it? Is it purely a hygiene?
Because no, it isn't. It's got nothing to do with hygiene.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's according to the Bible. It's because God commanded them to do it. End of. It doesn't need to be a reason. It's just commanded. Thou shalt,
not have foreskin.
Not have foreskin.
Yeah.
I mean, only in America could you have this kind of nonsense. I mean, you had a 55-year-old rabbi. The traditional way of doing this, by the way, is to bite the baby's foreskin off.
No, it's not.
It is fact. And there's this... Google this, chat. There's
I'm
a
assuming
few
that's
years
a
ago in
practice
New
that
York.
isn't enforced anymore.
It is. New York, an Orthodox rabbi bit the foreskin off of a child. Only in religion would you allow a 50-year-old man to take your baby's penis in his mouth. And gave the baby herpes simplex virus because he had a cold sore, and the baby died. The mayor of New York at the time, who was seeking re-election, refused to prosecute the rabbi involved or ban the practice because that would be seen to be breaking the wall between church and state. I mean, it is barbaric, it is disgusting, it is...
But it comes back to this whole thing of it's not acceptable because that's the way it's always been done.
Absolutely, yeah.
People used to burn witches.
Exactly. You can't go, but you're hurting my religion. You're talking about... I mean, female circumcision is, again, far worse, but I don't want to make it seem as though circumcision isn't terrible and isn't bad. It is. Of course it is. What normal person would want to take a knife to the... I think if you're old enough and you're making the decision yourself...
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah,
as Christopher Hitchens says, by all means, take a knife to your own... to your own sexual parts. By all means. Don't assume that your child is going to share your particular worldview and say, oh, yeah, we're going to lop it off. The defence that, well, there's no... the baby doesn't seem to remember it and, there's no real harm done... doesn't justify it, and if you think it does, write down why you think it does and send it in. But yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, and then typical Russell Crowe. You think he's all right, like he was in Gladiator, then he goes and does something stupid.
Yeah.
Like Master and Commander.
Master and Commander is quite good.
Oh,
It's a good film.
I stand corrected then. This is the first time he's done something stupid. He then went and apologised for it because he fell into the trap of some religious moron going, "Oh, you're obviously as bad as Hitler burning all the Jews." No, he's not. What he's saying, if you can't tell the difference, you've got bigger problems than what Russell Crowe thinks.